Alrighty, what we got? Optimum has a 16-gram gaming mouse. Not really. It looked like he got some jelly beans on a scale.
7 jelly beans is about the same weight as this gaming mouse, which is also about the same as a tablespoon.
Oh, it's less. It's 15. Oh, it's probably like a 14 and a half because a little wire.
Sugar. You might think the Logitech G Pro X is light, but this is a quarter of the.
Bro, the G Pro X, what is this, like 50 or 60 or something? Bro, that's like 4 of those mouses. Like 4 of those mouses is like one of these. What am I doing with my life?
That. I was curious to see whether or not this would actually be something that was good to aim with, so I took my 3D printed Zero mouse, I remodeled it to fit the Zonkonig M3K PCB, and the result is something that I actually like quite a lot. No scroll wheel, no side buttons, no...
Oh shit, no scroll wheel, no side buttons. Ooh, you missed some key components there, my bro.
DPI selector, just an incredibly lightweight shell, some comfortable grips,
just
and
aim.
Some really nice clicks. I mean,
literally, this mouse is the definition of just aim. Oh, and he got a little like V2, V3, V4 version with a scroll wheel. All right, that's pretty cool. Where the side buttons at? Give me some side buttons, dog.
If you could imagine what a Formula 1 car would be like as a gaming mouse, then this is pretty much it. And it feels exactly like what you'd expect a 16-gram gaming mouse to feel like.
It feels like probably nothing. Like, just take your hand and just do that without the mouse or shit. Like, I don't know. I got this like little fan remote. It's probably, it's probably about the same. Damn, that shit's fucking light.
It feels like, I mean, almost nothing. I know a lot of people say that about 40-gram and 50-gram gaming mice, but man, this honestly feels like just air. Now, if you're thinking, why would that even be good? It's mostly because of the extremely low inertia and basically momentum that something like this has. Lighter objects are more responsive than heavier ones.
Oh yeah. So much to the point where I bet if you don't have really good mouse control, like just raw mouse control, that mouse probably picks up all the little teeny tiny little micro shakes that your hand just naturally has, unless you like consistently are like a, I don't know, a top performing person or something like that. I guarantee you, if you get your heart rate up a little bit, this mouse is gonna pick up like your heartbeat in your hand. Oh man. And also, like, another good thing and bad thing about super light mouse is the initial friction going from a dead stop to movement of the mouse is extremely low. There's like, I mean, it's what do you say, 16 grams? It doesn't take a lot. And that, coupled with the fact that, you know, I mean, I don't really know what like the average person has as far as like pads go, but if I were to guess, I would say most people, this is just a shot in the dark, I would say a lot of top performing people probably have some sort of artisan pad, which they tend to be like fast cloth pads. So that on top of a 16-gram mouse, that is speed, if I were to ever guess.
Many of us have felt this when it comes to gaming mice as well. If you've upgraded to something like the Superlight, but previously you were using like a G5.
Oh, I got that one. Is this the, is that the infinite scroll wheel one? I think it is. Where is it? Do I got it? It's somewhere. Wait, it's right there. Yeah. This is the infinite scroll wheel mouse. You hit that button and it unlocks the scroll wheel so you can just flick it and it goes, like you could put a little air duster on it and like send that sucker. Very hilarious in games that have mechanics that you can bind to a mouse wheel. Very fun. But goddamn, I didn't know this thing is 126 grams. I never like weighed it. I knew it's like pretty heavy, but 126. Damn. This is like 2 of these So how many of his mices are in this thing? What, like 10? No, not 10, because that'd be like 160. At least like 8, or no, maybe 7. Math is hard.
502, that is an incredibly noticeable difference to how your aim and your input would feel. And the thing is, those benefits don't stop. They continue until you get to 0 grams. The problem though is the amount of compromise when you go this light. So I wanted to make something that didn't feel like compromise.
Like if I was like a coach or something, I would not prescribe this mouse to anybody that is new. This is something like you have to be good already to be able to use this. You have to like be like super into like aim training and all that jazz just to be able to pick this sucker up. All right.
Compromise, something where you have a really optimized set of grip points and not a whole lot else. That is really what Zero Mouse has been about, and the result is this. It's this unbelievably minimal shell, which is very extreme to look at, but it's also a super effortless, low
God help you if you drop this thing.
tension aiming experience, almost as if your hand is just floating on your mouse pad. Now, if I wanted to, believe it or not, I could actually make this thing even lighter. This 16 gram wide prototype, for example, I'm pretty confident I could get this down to like 12 or 13 grams, but then it severely compromises that low tension aiming feel, which is kind of the whole point of this in the first place. At close to 10 grams, this thing would be so small, you'd have to like really grip onto it and pinch it, which just defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
I think this is why
I mean, because I just saw a video recently of some dude making like a mouse that was kind of like this, but not really. It was the shape of it. It was like a Jenga cube. It was like a long rectangle box type of deal. This is like more rectangular, like a book shape. The other dude's mouse was more like a Jenga block, and he tried to make it like a pen. And that sucker was pretty light. So I am all for people trying to reinvent the wheel in terms of like mouse shape. I 100% support it.
Why a lot of people say shape is king when it comes to gaming mice.
Come on. There's one person that says shape is king. We all know. This is Rocket Jump Ninja.
Ultimately, you want to find a shape of mouse where it feels really intuitive to aim with, something that feels locked in, but also really relaxed at the same time. Nothing that feels like it's a lot of effort to grip. And that's the main reason why I kind of refuse to make this any smaller than it is. I mean, you put this next to a lot of the medium shell style mice.
God dang! Like, I'm trying to like look at it on my monitor, and I don't know if he probably didn't make this like, no, because it's like a little bit bigger. Like, dang, that sucker. Oh shit, come back. Like, I'm trying to like put my hand up to it just to see, and it's like, god dang. That sucker is tiny.
That are out there, which a lot of people like, let's say the OP1, the grip width and the contact points are actually not that different. This shell is something that I've actually been pretty obsessed over for the last few months. It's what I'm calling the Zero Mouse V30.
Bro, this doesn't even look like a mouse when you have it like in 3D form. This looks like some sort of ship.
One of the biggest criticisms that I had on the V34, which I made as my first mod kit for people to test out this design, was that it could feel a bit flexy at times, especially under tense situations. So
honestly, that's probably just like a material thing. You could probably ditch that whole flexy thing and come up with, you could probably make this like super expensive, and whatever material you'd use, you could just get like way higher quality material. And just make it more stiff or whatever. But I don't know if, you know, it's if you're like willing to like throw down like a lot of money just to get rid of that flexible feeling.
This new model is dramatically stiffer. I mean, it's the first thing that I upgraded. We've got this new crossbar support here, which goes between the thumb and the pinky. That
Okay.
has worked insanely well. And I've also added this little support here on the ring finger, which braces against the PCB. I've
Ooh.
also reduced the wall thickness significantly, making it almost 3 grams lighter than before. And
Okay.
the crossbar here also works as a neat little holder for the battery. This massively reduces the moment arm and inertia that you feel on the mouse, especially if you're a wrist aimer. In
Ooh.
simple terms, the center of mass is now closer to the base of your wrist, so the mouse now feels a lot lighter at the same weight. And then lastly, there are now deep grooves on each of the contact points, which might be the biggest improvement overall. The more surface area that can be captured by your fingertips here, the more control you will feel. And this
is a very good point to bring up. The more of the mouse that you can get in contact with your fingers and hand, the more control you're going to be able to feel like you have. One product that I can say from that someone from that tried to do this was Struth. Struth tried to do this with his clawmate things, and essentially they were like little wedges that you stick on like whatever mouse. And essentially, that was the concept. Just stick the grooves on wherever you grip your mouse to give you more control on your mouse, more contact points of your fingers and in your hand and whatnot. And this concept 100% works. So this is very smart of him to do this.
a massive difference. The Zero Mouse now honestly feels like a refined aiming experience. It took a few iterations to dial in the size of these and the pitch, but I'm super happy with how they turned out. I've actually been using the Zero Mouse now without...
Bro, his hand looks like Shaquille O'Neal's size hand with grabbing like a little tiny mouse.
any grip tape, whereas on the V34 with the flat sides, they were basically required. Now the material here is actually pretty interesting. I haven't spoken about it much because honestly I had planned to move towards ABS injection molding by this point, but after seeing how far I've been able to push this and how light I've been able to make it, it's just really impressed me. It's a 3D printed material called nylon PA12, and it's printed with a process called SLS, or selective laser sintering. Basically, there's a laser which fuses each layer of a powder, and that powder actually acts as the support material for these overhangs that you see here. So you can pretty much print like whatever you want. You don't need to worry about support material at all. It's
Bro, it looks like you're like uncovering a fossil, but it's just like a bike seat.
actually mind-blowing, the quality of prints that you can get with SLS, and it's the only 3D printing process where you don't need to physically print supports like you would with filament printing or with resin printing. So yeah, I'm able to print all of this with a complete unibody shell and only use 3 screws for the PCB. Currently, I'm outsourcing all of my printing to Zelta 3D in Singapore because the printers that produce these are very expensive, and they've done an absolutely epic job with these. I mean, if you guys are prototyping anything and you want a high quality print, I would definitely recommend checking them out. The best thing about 3D printing though is that you don't have to commit to a final design. You can keep tweaking it and changing it and upgrading it as you learn more about whatever you're building. That is exactly what I've been doing with this. Injection molded ABS can produce a higher quality part though, and it is more cost effective. It is something that I still kind of want to explore for the final model, which will have an integrated PCB. And that,
you know what this kind of reminds me of? And this is like actually stupid, but it is actually true. The Zero Mouse and people that make mice are tending to give you just simply less mouse. I mean, because that's the trend. Less mouse for a higher price. So I don't know how much this thing actually is. He could probably charge whatever. I mean, he could probably get away with charging like upwards of like 100 plus for this dang thing. But this product or concept or trend of less mouse for more money reminds me of women's clothing, women's underwear, and women's just everything. You are paying more money for less threads, more money for less cloth. Oh, I don't know why I just thought of that, but it was just funny. And it's like, this is like the proposed better version of a mouse. I don't know. Okay, I might be stupid.
That should be ready by the end of the year. ABS also isn't that much more dense than this nylon PA12. It will, though, involve separating the existing design into 3 separate parts. So the Zero Mouse V35 is basically the end of the road for these mod kits. This will be the second mod kit that I've done. Mod
Oh,
kit, by the
shit.
way, is where you take an existing mouse, pull out the internals, and put it in a new shell, which is what this is. I've said it before, but I'm not super keen on mod kits. They produce a lot of waste, and they're not very cost effective either. They have, though, been extremely good for this project because I've been able to see whether or not people like this style of mouse as much as I do, and the feedback so far has been really positive. I mean, all of the changes have been, very gradual little improvements over time, but when I look back at the V1 Zero Mouse, which is where this all started, it is crazy to see how much has changed. I mean, if nothing else, this has been an extremely fun project to work on. Also, I definitely don't hate full-sized gaming mice like this. I mean, they've actually been a big motivator for me to make something that feels more refined and contoured to aim with. It's just, I think this is...
In order for Optimum to be able to run, Logitech had to walk first.
pretty much as good as a medium-sized mouse will pretty much ever get. I mean, you think about like a Final Mouse ULX, for example, 38, 40 gram medium-sized mouse. I mean, that is pretty much as good as a medium-sized mouse with that shape is really ever gonna get. But coming back to this thing, this 16 gram prototype, I mean, I love how minimal and extreme this thing is. It kind of just makes me want to play more simply because I'm using this. And if nothing else, it's given me a glimpse of what a truly endgame gaming mouse could feel like, at least for me who really enjoys this style of mouse. Even with this cable, which is one of the main...
What do you say, Soldier cheating?
Really enjoys this style of mouse.
Soldier cheating. Okay.
Even with this cable, which is one of the main things I wanted to test here actually, it's the same as what you'll get on the Zonkonig M3K. It's stiff enough that you don't get that much cable whip. You know, it's not one of those really soft, floppy cables where you actually do get quite a lot of whip. This cable is stiff enough that you avoid most of that, but at the same time, it's pretty thin and lightweight. Most people will still prefer the freedom of wireless and the convenience.
I mean, you know, depending on who you ask, I'm like with a super light mouse like that, the cable dragging on the pad could add to the stability of the mouse when stopping and whatnot. But as far as like whipping your shit around, I mean, I don't know. I've been playing with this thing for fucking ever. Wired guy problems.
Of a scroll wheel for games that benefit from that, but this extreme mode here is now definitely on the roadmap. And I will just say, you know, gaming mice this light are not instantly going to turn you into, you know, a top 500 Overwatch player or Radiant in Valorant, but also the world's best running shoes won't turn you into the best sprinter. The world's best camera won't turn you into an amazing photographer. That's pretty much how I look at this and really any other enthusiast equipment or tool. And also, you know, good aim is so much more than just being able to move an object with your hand. It's about...
What was that? Let me see.
Being able to move an object with your hand.
Their tracer is cheating. Reported. God damn, Optimal. You styling on kids.
And it's about learning strafe patterns and animations. It's about predicting and anticipating where your target is going to move next.
Oh, yeah.
But when I swap between the Zero Mouse and a full-sized mouse, which is over double the weight, it is extremely clear what I would prefer to use.
Oh, shit.
You might think the Logitech...
This mouse actually looks good. Man. That's crazy. That's like, so this is like yet another mouse that attempts to like recreate the shape and just give people more options to choose from. The other dude with like the pen simulation mouse, Optimum with this super tiny, this looks like what, what do you call it? This looks like what a GPX would eat for breakfast with how tiny this thing is. Oh man. No, this is overall this is a cool video. I like the concept. Let's see, oh, he's got one like right there. Oh shit. $69. Okay. Decent, actually decent price point. Okay. I mean, I like it, but okay. So let me see. How much does your hand weigh? Lightning. The mouse just doesn't cut it anymore. The mouse may weigh 16 grams, but your hand weighs way more. To realize, to really optimize your aiming, we have to think better. More radical designs will elevate our skill. Yep. Cut off your hands. Replace them with carbon fiber and aluminum alloy prosthetics. Give yourself an unbeatable hardware advantage. A 2024 16-gram mouse. 2025 0-gram mouse. 2026 negative 16-gram mouse. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, this seems like a good idea, and he's probably gonna come out like keep trying to refine the shape and whatnot. And I am 100% support of it for sure. Good ass video. Keep it up, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.